Tell me this. Did the Jets save their season with the win?
I can't say that just yet. Now, are you going to tell me the Jets are going to continuously get 3-4 takeaways every single game? Because yesterday their offense was 1 for 4 in the red zone. Because that's what you're going to need to do, because your offense is rather mundane. You're not one of these high-flying offenses. You're not going to put the ball in harm's way. You're not going to ask Zach Wilson to throw the ball all over the yard. You're going to rely on your running game, and hopefully you'll still be in the ball game because your defense is not going to let offenses go up and down the field. So if you tell me that defense is going to continuously take the ball away, give you short fields, get scooping scores of pick sixes, I'm going to say, you know what? Because I don't believe they can win the division. You still have Buffalo in that division, although you beat them early on in your building, and you got Miami, and you got to face them, if I'm not mistaken, you got to face them twice. So yes. I'm not here to because could you possibly get 3 teams in out of that division? You're basically playing for a wild card, because I don't believe the Jets will win that division. But I'm not here to say, as I sit here today, that they saved their season.
Well, I can say this to you. I think they have saved their season. You know why? Because it's not dead yet. It's just that simple. They're still on a respirator as far as I'm concerned. They're still alive, okay? Right. And so you win this game, that goes a long way. When you scour the AFC, think about this. We know about the division leaders, all right?
Right.
In Kansas City, Jacksonville, Baltimore, and Miami, okay? But let's take into account everything else. You got the Buffalo Bills a game ahead of them,
right.
Okay? You got the Steelers at 3-2, the Cleveland Browns at 3-2, right? You got Cincinnati tied with them at 3-3 in the North. You got the Indianapolis Colts and the Houston Texans. Oh, D'Amico Ryans and what they're doing.
Doing an unbelievable
job.
job.
Oh, it's unbelievable, man. It's real special watching C.J. Stroud. He's that dude, okay? Mm-hmm. So you got them at 3-3, and then you got the Raiders at 3-3, and I think the Raiders will fold. They'll find a way. Jimmy Garoppolo, porn star Jimmy's hurt again, by the way. He's hurt again. So that's what it is, okay? The bottom line is this. If you're the New York Jets, you're Zach Wilson, what do you have? You scored 2 offensive TDs compared to 9 field goals, converted only 5 of 23 third downs. That's just at 22%, and 1 of 9 in the red zone. That's what your offense has done.
Yes.
At some point in time, Zach Wilson is going to have to win them a game or 2, and I don't believe he's going to do it. But I can't say that this season wasn't saved, because obviously they're still alive at 3-3, and that is what we got to take into account, Shannon.
Right.
Season absolutely saved. 3-3 going into their bye week. No one thought. 36 days ago when Aaron Rodgers did the Achilles, it was like, hey, season's over. We're done. We can never get to the Super Bowl again. Watching how this defense is playing and then seeing Aaron Rodgers play or throw at least and move around, you're like, man, maybe. You know, maybe. And I'd take it a step further. Robert Saleh said, I think we can go toe-to-toe with everybody. No, you can. It's not I think. You can. You are a pass interference, questionable pass interference call against the Chiefs to beating both of the teams that were in the Super Bowl last year. There is not a person on their schedule that they can't beat. Is there a formula that doesn't, give a lot of margin for error? Absolutely. But yes. Can they beat Miami? Absolutely. They've already beaten the Bills. Can they beat the Los Angeles Chargers? Absolutely. Can they beat the Browns? Absolutely. With the way this defense plays, 100%. Shannon, your point to the red zone, absolutely dead on. The red zone, if they can find a way to get better in the red zone, take a step forward, I think they need to let Zach Wilson run around a little bit in the red zone, create a little bit in the red zone, because he's not an on-time player. And, down there you got to be like this. So I think this football team, given the way that their defense is playing and given who's left on their schedule, I think they can absolutely still get into the playoffs. And then what happens with the health of Rodgers is obviously a question for further down the road. But the way that this team is hunting the ball, they could beat anybody.
Yeah. I played on a team very similar to this, guys, in 2000. That's how we played it. That's how we were as the Ravens. We played the defense, make one mistake. We get somebody to break a tackle, hit the head on the goalpost. We get a lead. And if we didn't turn it over, you didn't get a pick six or a scoop and score, you couldn't drive the ball on our football team. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing. Now, that's what's going to have to happen. Zach Wilson can't turn the ball over, Dio. If he turns the ball over, he's going to put the defense on short field, or he's going to give up scoop and scores a pick six. As long as he doesn't turn the ball over, that defense is good enough to keep them in every game. Still got the 6, so we still got 11 games to go. Yes. But I don't believe they can win the division. But let's see after another month.
Can they go 7-4 in their next 11? That's the question. Can they go 7-4 again? Like they play the Giants, they play the Raiders. I think they play Buffalo one more time, Miami twice. They play Cleveland. Like there's 7 wins in there for this football team. Your point about that's one of the most interesting things in the NFL so far. Zach Wilson in 5 weeks has gone from this freelance, run around, athletic, jaw-dropping throw maker to a game manager.
Yes.
If he can
And
live
it's
in
okay.
that game manager world, they can beat anyone.
Game managers win Super Bowls too. You know,
You would know. You would know.
I absolutely would know. And there have been a lot of guys that, I want to have that guy, and he ain't got nothing to show for it. And I played with a guy that understood who he was, and most important, who he wasn't.
Which is the best team in the NFC?
Believe it or not, my brother, remember, the list is fluid.
It's fluid. It's fluid.
The list is fluid.
You see that?
I'm going to go with the Detroit Lions for the moment.
Wow.
For the moment.
Wow.
I'm going to go with the Detroit Lions. I
Is it
mean,
the best?
I can, let me explain. The list is fluid.
Yes.
The list is fluid. I understand that, you're white and all, but you got to come into the light because I couldn't see you when you went in the darkness now. Okay, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you got to come in there, right? Come on there. Come on there, bright man. Here's the deal. Here's the
said
deal.
bright man.
That's right, bright man. Here's the deal, y'all. Lions, one playoff victory since 1957.
Yeah.
One. These guys right now at 5-1, 13-3 since week 9 last season. Second best record in the NFL to the San Francisco 49ers. This is Jared Goff. Have you seen the way he's been balling?
Yeah.
I mean, this is a dude that took the Rams, that quarterback the Rams when they went to the Super Bowl, mind you. This is that guy. Okay, you got Jameson Williams back. You saw him come back after the whole gambling thing. This brother is something he can ball. We know that they've got a defense this year. Top 5 team in both total offense and scoring offense. A top 10 team in total defense and scoring defense. Jared Goff, 28 TD passes against 4 picks during the stretch since week 9. We talk about the importance of the quarterback position. I'm just saying, have we seen the Lions? Have we seen the Lions?
Yeah.
I mean, I understand that San Francisco is San Francisco because obviously that's who I got coming out of the NFC. But I can't ignore what I'm watching. I can't ignore the culture change that Dan Campbell has instituted. The Rough Riders that he's got, they're playing physical. Their outfit, they're playing with a level of physicality that usurps those of their opposition. And we knew the hype coming into the season about them. And we said, they need to show us. What have they done? And what have they done since then? They've shown us. I'm just saying, for the moment,
Yeah.
especially with Debo and Christian McCaffrey hurt, we got to look at the Detroit Lions right now.
Shannon, before you go, let me say this about Detroit. Before you go. Absolutely NFC Championship contenders. One, they will have a Defensive Player of the Year candidate. Aiden Hutchinson will be a Defensive Player of the Year candidate this year. Two, Jared Goff is a top 5 quarterback right now, and whether you like it or not, folks, he's going to be in the MVP conversation all season long. He's playing that good. Third thing is this, when it comes to them. Their 2 assistant coaches, offensive coordinator Ben Johnson will be a head coach next year. Aaron Glenn, their defensive coordinator, will be a head coach next year. I mean, the way that those guys, or at least in head coaching interviews, very much so with both those guys. Totally agree, Stephen A.
I agree. I took the Niners. I got the Niners still in first. Okay. I got Detroit in second. I got the Eagles in third. Because, yes, the 49ers' 15-game winning streak, dating back to last year, regular season winning streak, came to an end. And it was Purdy's worst game, and they still only lost by 2. I still question that unnecessary roughness called D.O. I don't know what you think about it that they put on Gibson Sr. I don't know if that was necessarily, every big hit is not unnecessary roughness, and I understand the NFL has instructed the officials, when in doubt, throw the flag. But I don't know about that call there. But the 49ers didn't play well enough to win that game. I need to see a little bit more from Detroit. One more game. If the 49ers struggle again, and even if they win, and the Lions played the way they played, I'm gonna bump the Lions to number 1 because. Gibbs is out. Montgomery got injured, and they're going to need more than 40 yards rushing. But the way they went on the road, and I'm not saying Tampa are these world beaters, but Tampa had been playing well, and they held them to 6 points. AG needs to get a lot of credit because I remember when people were calling for AG to get fired as DC, and Dan Campbell stuck with him. And it seems to be that faith is being rewarded now. They're playing extremely well. I got them as my second best team in the NFC behind the 49ers and in front of the Eagles.
Yeah, I don't hate your order. San Francisco is the best team in the NFC. San Francisco, just again, everybody yesterday, weather played a factor. 12 penalties, 2 missed field goals. Cleveland's defensive line dominated San Francisco's offensive line. So I still say that San Francisco is the best team in the NFC.